Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Innovation Alley. We're your hosts. I'm TowelManPurple.
I'm Bjorn.
And today we're going to go over some sauce straight from the kitchen. But before we get into that, if you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe button down below. And if you can leave a comment and tell us what your favorite color pairing is and why it is that would be awesome. So I'll start us off. And today I'm bringing to the table Damaging Dwarves. Now, Damaging Dwarves actually has dwarves in it. Cliche to the name. We have Happy and Doc. Happy's a 1-drop 2/1 that has evasive on your turn. And Doc is a 1/3 for 2 that when it comes into play, you can discard your hand and draw 2 cards.
And preferably you would just not have a hand so you don't have to discard anything, right?
That is correct. That would be the main objective. That's the goal. Or you're just throwing away something that's just useless at that time and you're digging for an answer, right? But the other part for the name of the deck is the 7 Dwarfs Mine. During your turn, the first time you move a character here, you deal 1 damage to chosen character. If the moved character is a knight, it deals 2 damage instead. So it's essentially having more than 4 copies of Fire the Cannons in your deck, and you get to ping the opponent's characters at will, little by little, dwindling them away. Now, whether it happens to be the knight or any of your other characters, so it's only shooting for 1, it's still getting the job done.
Every damage counts, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, moving further along, if we continue looking at the locations, we also have Library and Queen's Castle, both of which that provide passive lore gain and the ability of drawing cards, something that everyone loves to do in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, it can't be a TowelManPurple deck if you don't have at least 10 locations, right?
That's absolutely correct. You know, sometimes they have a few less or a few more, but that's neither here nor there. Now, the other cards that help us draw, we have Friends on the Other Side. We have Chernobog Followers, Magic Broom, Doc, even the Ludafet from Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
So there are a multitude of different ways to filter through your deck. So we happen to love that when we're trying to apply pressure. Now, as far as the damaging part, we have a pair of Grab Your Swords, a playset of Fire the Cannons, and we have Big Tinkerbell and Big Bell. Now, Big Bell is one of my favorite cards. It just transfers 3 damage from anywhere to another character. It just messes up math everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So the other thing that's kind of unique in this deck is having the 3-drop Tinkerbell to enable the shift line to be available for you, because a turn 4 Big Tink is not only very dangerous and threatening to your opponent, but it really puts like a stop sign up. It's like blocking the road off from them to being able to feel that they can do whatever they want freely.
Yeah.
Now, the other powerhouse hitters in this deck for questing would be Mr. Smee and Lawrence. And then as far as like more combat math, I mean, we know the Fox is just insane, right? It's the card that's kind of like it's a concealed weapon, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, Rush is just so good.
Very much so. And then to continue, we have 12 1-drops, 8 2-drops, 11 3-drops, 4 5s, and 3 6s. So essentially, we're pretty fast, but we are still a mid-range deck, but because we are reactive while we're trying to apply pressure, and then having the locations, of course.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think those locations will get you a lot of lore, too, so we don't have to quest as much as aggro decks might have to.
Right, exactly. And I feel like when you have the locations there, you have very large statted characters in this deck, and having a location on the field makes your opponent feel like they have to deal with it, so they're going to exert themselves and leave themselves vulnerable to any of our larger statted characters.
Oh yeah, especially if you got that Tinkerbell, she can really punish the opponent for exerting their characters.
Right, and that's exactly what we intend on doing. All right, now...
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's do it. Now, let's take a look on the other side of the kitchen.
Yeah?
With Hypersong. Bjorn, tell us about it.
Yeah, I love hyper aggro, but what if instead of questing a lot, we still quest for pretty good amount, but we also sang a bunch of songs, right? Like aggro decks usually don't have too many non-characters, but here's 20 songs. I have 20 songs in here. Let's go over them quick. We have Be Our Guest, which of course grabs us any character we would like, which is very helpful. Bare Necessities removes any problematic card the opponent might have against us. The Storm Rage on, Strength of a Raging Fire are just good for shooting down whatever bothers us. And When Will My Life Begin is a very underrated card. First off, it's like Storm in that it replaces itself. You know, you draw a card when you play it, so it's never a bad play, even if you don't care about the effect. Especially since, you know, when you sing it, it doesn't cost anything. But chosen character can't challenge during their next turn. That can actually be very helpful. For example, if the opponent has some big challenger like Maui, which can't quest or only quest for one, it's very great to just locking them down. Or if it's a really problematic thing like a Tinkerbell that would take out two of your characters. Like
Right.
if I would face your deck with this deck, I would definitely play this on your Tinkerbell every single turn, right? No
Yeah, for
way
sure.
I'm letting that Tinkerbell hit me. No, that's so it's actually a very good effect, and it's inkable, so you can always just ink it.
I think you also played this card because you have like a little resemblance with it with your luxurious locks going on.
I think so. I mean, Rapunzel is one of my favorite characters. We, you know, have some things in common.
Oh man, I love it.
Um, but yeah, we have the one cost Cinderella to sing all those songs. All of those songs are 2 or 3 costs, so she can sing all of them. Just being a 1 cost, we also have the Daisy Duck, which is just, you know, you can't play Amber without Daisy Duck. What can I say? She's insane.
She's just very well statted.
Absolutely. And Golden Harp. Some people might not have seen this card before, especially if you're newer to the game, but Golden Harp has the same stats as Daisy Duck, and she also has a very negative effect. Reading that at the end of your turn, if you didn't play a song this turn, banish this character. This means that you cannot play Golden Harp on your first turn, because obviously you can't sing on your first turn. You can play her, I mean, the earliest on turn 2, right? If you play turn 1 Cinderella, you can do a funny turn 2 Golden Harp and sing a random song with Cinderella, you know? Actually quite funny. So it's
pretty
same idea as Daisy Duck, you know, she has a bad effect, but as long as you can circumvent that by playing songs, and we have 20 of them.
Hey, but Golden Harp
she-
is also inkable.
Yeah, yeah, Daisy Duck is not inkable. She is, so if you don't have any songs, like, oh, well, gosh darn it, I can't play this, I don't have any songs, you know, just ink it. Or wait until you have the song, you know? But yeah, also, of course, you know, branching out with, like the Lilo, just being a 1-costed quest for 2. It's not a Daisy Duck, it's not a Golden Harp, but it's still good. We don't have too many uninkable, so it's fine. Piglet, you know, the best 2-cost in the game, in my opinion. Questing for 3 is insane. It's inkable as well, which really helps the usability. We have Doc. We already talked about Doc in your list, and it's the same here. You know, I love Doc. We don't have a whole new world or anything like that in this deck, so it's mostly Doc that will be doing the heavy lifting. You can find him with Be Our Guest. Actually, he gets you new cards.
Doc is like another
Mr.
Ariel for you in here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Kinda, yeah.
Because if you don't
and
have what you need to let the heart survive, you can just dump your hand and try to draw 2 and look for it.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Mr. Smee, they're just every steel deck has a Mr. Smee. He's just amazing. He's insane. We can't heal him or anything, but it's fine. He still does work. And we got that Ariel, of course, to her singer ability doesn't matter, but she can find us songs. There are 20 of them, so we'll very often be able to find at least one of them. Donald Duck, just as she's a bodyguard, and he also, you know, gains you a lore from nowhere, which can, you know, surprise the opponent and make you win from nowhere. And speaking of winning from nowhere, our only 4-cost in the deck is Alan the Rooster. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I just call him Alan all the time. whenever you play a song, gain 1 lore. So it's like a flute, except you can use it as many times as you want per turn. And he's also a character, so he can quest too, right? He quests for 2. You play him, and then you play a bunch of songs, and you quest with him, and that's so much lore.
Yeah, it's a flute on legs, and it's inkable.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Love
I mean, yeah. So that's basically it. You try to get out cheap lore with your 1 costs and piglet in the start of the game. You just go, and then in the end you try to get some cheesy lore with Alan, and then you win.
This is what the kids would call going burr.
Going burr, but
Yeah.
with the song edition, karaoke edition.
Karaoke edition. Maybe that's why Alan has a little guitar in his hand.
Oh yeah, little troubadour.
It's a rockin' rooster.
Rocket Rooster. It reminds me of KK Slider from Animal Crossing.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed these decks here. If you can go ahead and give them a try, we'd also love to hear your feedback on those. Thank you for coming to another episode of Innovation Alley, and you guys have an amazing day.